Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Devyn Nekoda about Scream 6 in theaters March 10th. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh my God, this is exciting times. I remember when this film was announced. I remember when it was announced that you were joining the cast. It's going to be out in theaters in like a couple of days. It's crazy, right? There's not much more to say.
Yeah, you hit it on the head. It's crazy. It's insane.
One of the things I love about this franchise is every time a new Scream movie comes out, it's not like one of those things where it's like you go see it and then it's like, cool, and then we're waiting for the next one. When a new Scream movie comes out, it's like a festival. It's like a 3-month thing, right? It's like an event and everything. Did it feel like that after you kind of wrapped and you're talking to people and getting ready for press? Like, did it feel like you were part of an event and like a festival rather than one film?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, even we were done filming in August and then we have our group chat that just hasn't stopped going off. It's been like nonstop communication. Like, I can't get rid of these people. I never want to get rid of these people. I love them so much. We had the best time filming. But yeah, it's been a whirlwind. I don't want this day to be over. It's literally 10 a.m. and I'm like, let's slow it down. I'm like, I want to just be in this moment for as long as I can.
Were the emotions kind of twofold in regards to when you get to be part of Scream and alone, that's just an iconic kind of franchise, but then you get to be part of kind of the horror kind of world and community, like the horror movies are so big right now. Were both those feelings a little bit, or was it kind of both together?
I would say both feelings a little bit, because I mean, obviously it's Scream. I'm like, how am I going to enter this horror world and go into the most iconic franchise of all time? So that was just insane. And, but yeah, this was like my first horror film that I've ever done. And I just had the best time. I had so much fun.
Last year, I spoke to Dermot Mulroney about another film, and that he was working on Scream 6. And one thing he said was the bloody aspect of this was something he couldn't believe. And, you know, it's a slasher film and everything. I'm just wondering, reading the script and then kind of seeing it in Video Village and the playback and everything, what was that like, kind of seeing the gore and the blood for Scream 6 specifically? Because that's something everyone talks about every year when a new Scream movie comes out, right?
Totally. And of course, we were all like expecting tons of blood. It's, you know, you have to expect that, especially for the 6th movie. But reading the script, there were multiple times when I had to put it down and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is insane. There's going to be so much blood. It's just more intense. It's bloodier. Oh my God. It's just,
it's bigger.
I'm so excited. It's bigger.
It's bigger. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Is there a story on the top of your head you could tell me about being cast for this role, or finding out that you got the role, or like the audition, anything about that specifically that comes to mind?
Absolutely. I can. So when I first initially got the audition, they were being pretty secretive about it. So I didn't know that I was auditioning for Scream. So I sent in this audition. I'm pretty sure I filmed it with my boyfriend. Like, didn't really do my makeup, honestly. Like, I feel like I didn't put that much effort into my audition. Now that I'm looking back at it, I'm like, I don't think it was my greatest one. And then my manager calls and she's like, so you have a callback. By the way, this is for Scream. You are auditioning for Scream. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, what? Why did no one tell me this? They're like, we didn't want to freak you out. So we kept it low key. But you're going to be meeting with Matt, Tyler, and Chad tomorrow to do this Zoom call. And then I had that. They were the sweetest people ever. And yeah, I actually found out that I booked Scream when I was in New York for a premiere for a Disney movie that I did last year. So it was just like, yeah, Sneakerella. I was walking through security and I got the call that I booked Scream. And just the fact that like it's based in New York, like it takes place in New York too. I don't know. It's just full circle, I felt.
Perfect Fit and Sneakerella was on my Spotify rap. I listen to that song like all the time.
Oh my God. honestly, yeah, that soundtrack is.
Because I know
I'm not
Colton
gonna lie,
Stewart, and I was talking to Colton Stewart about that as well, and like that song is just amazing. I listened to that song. You know what else is amazing? Still Alive by Demi Lovato, part of Scream 6. So that's a bop. That is a tune.
It's a bop. It is a bop, and I didn't know that I was gonna be in a Demi Lovato music video.
I know.
I watched it. I was like, oh my God, is that my face? I'm like, is that me? I'm like, Marco. I'm like to my boyfriend. I'm like, is that my face? Yeah,
it's crazy. I find it interesting about the auditions because there's like, it's 50-50. You either know a lot about the audition or you know like nothing about it. I feel like it depends on the project, but I always love hearing those stories.
Totally. Yep, you're right.
Which is unbelievable. We're walking on eggshells a little bit because we don't want to say anything or like, It's one of those movies, right? Where you want to just go in and not know as much. I will say, the only thing I will say is your character has a lot of awesome scenes with Jasmin Savoy Brown. So I just kind of wanted to know, what was it like working with Jasmin? And did you have any kind of conversations? Like, you're new to the Scream franchise. She was in the movie last year. What were kind of was there any advice she gave you? Like, I'm just curious about that. What was it like with Jasmin?
Jasmin and I clicked instantly. She's one of my best friends now. Yeah, honestly, she was, I mean, all of them were giving me such incredible advice. Like, I will take advice from anybody in the acting industry. So they were all great with that. But Jasmin and I definitely had a special bond. I mean, a lot of my scenes, like you said, are with her. And yeah, she's just like one of my favorite people in the entire world.
Does it start hitting you a little bit that people like what is it today? It's obviously starting to hit you the most because it's press day and the movie's coming out this week. Like, I get that 100%. But when it was announced that you were joining the cast, right? I feel like that's just a special moment because but then instantly kind of the world knows that you're part of this new franchise and everything. Is it safe to say it's been kind of like a couple years now of like it feeling like you're part of Scream, or did it not hit you at all even when you're filming it? Like, I'm just curious about that.
I think it definitely, yeah, you're right. When it was announced that I was going to be in it, that was definitely a huge moment. I would say another huge moment was the trailer being released. I remember they announced that Josh, Jack, Liana, and I were joining the cast. We were all on set together, and we just kind of looked at our phones and they just started blowing up, and we're like, oh my gosh, like the news is out. Like, we can make the calls, we can tell our friends, like, it was just, yeah, it was an awesome moment.
I'm sure you can answer this question. What is something about this film that you are so excited for people to see that they maybe have not seen it in a past Scream movie?
Oh,
first of all, the settings are different. Like, it's a whole different world, basically. Let's be honest. Yeah.
I think, honestly, like, you took the words right out of my mouth. It's the fact that it's based in New York is something obviously that we haven't seen before. And it's just, like we said earlier, it's just bigger, bloodier, gorier.
Ghostface is there, right?
Yeah.
I remember, like, when the first Scream movie came out, I was obviously really young, but I remember, like, you couldn't go, like, there were, like, anytime there was, like, a Halloween store, there'd always be a Ghostface mask. It was like, you couldn't get rid of it, ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't get rid of Ghostface in Scream 6, which is going to be in theaters March 10th.
I literally, like, if someone is dressed up like Ghostface for Halloween or something, I'm going to be, like, on edge.
There was that Instagram filter I saw that Mason did where, like Ghostface was, like, shows up in the back and everything.
Yeah. Trauma.
Before we wrap up as well, I want to kind of know the learning experiences for you as a storyteller and actor on Scream 6, because we talked about how big this franchise is. And I feel like whether you've worked on a set one time or 1,000 times, you're always going to kind of learn new things. Can you share one or two kind of learning experiences on Scream 6 specifically, Devyn? I'm curious about that.
Oh my God, there's so many, so many. It was just the greatest time of my life. I learned so much from everyone. I can't think of a specific thing right now. Sorry, I'm blanking.
No, absolutely no. But like, I mean, we brought up, like, it's a gory film.
Yeah.
So
for real. I think just the most important thing, especially with an ensemble cast, is just really, paying attention to your scene partners. Obviously, like, I feel like learning from that, just watching them is the biggest thing that I took in, because they are all so incredible, and they've done this before. And so just being in the same room as them, I was just like always watching what everyone was doing, taking it all in. And I'm definitely going to carry that with me to the next set.
That's an incredible answer. And were you a fan of horror movies before joining Scream 6?
No. Absolutely.
That's fair. It's not. It's
absolutely not.
No, it's. Are you a fan of them now, or are you still not a fan?
You know what? I think now that I've been a part of it, because even as an actor, I'm like, I should be able to watch horror movies because I know that it's not real.
Absolutely.
Right. But for some reason that never was the case. I think maybe now that I've filmed a horror movie specifically, I think maybe we can.
That's how I kind of got over it. Like, for example, I would watch like The Grudge and be like so scared to be like, oh no, it's just Buffy. It's Sarah Michelle Gellar. It's not real. That's how I got over it. No, it's crazy. I'm a huge horror movie fan, and I love that this is just such a fun Scream movie, and I can't wait for everyone to see it. March 10th in theaters. It's crazy, and I'm so happy for you and the cast. Devyn, thank you so much for your time. It was so great chatting with you.
Thank you, PD. It was awesome talking to you too. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And it's just your name for Instagram, right? Devyn Nekoda?
It's Devyn_Nekoda.
Okay, so they can check that out. Awesome. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popturn for previous episodes. Scream 6 is going to be in theaters March 10th. Until next time, this is Devyn Nekoda and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.